there's a lot of ear training out there. Some of it's for musicians, training your ability to hear intervals and musical notes, but as an audio engineer or as a musician who wants to make their mixes sound better, it's really important that you find a way to develop your ability to identify frequencies. Because face it, the truth is that not only do collaborators mean different things when they say things like muddy, or when they say things like harsh, but the tools we use, they don't use that subjective language. They use objective language. If you want an EQ to cut at 500 hertz, then you need to tell it, I want you to cut at 500 hertz. You can't say necessarily make this less boxy or some other sort of arbitrary or ambiguous term that might mean the same thing. When I was in college, one of my professors taught his first year, my sophomore year. And up until that point, I had learned a lot about ear training. I had learned a lot about mixing techniques, and I'd learned a lot about mixing tools. But when it came to how do I know what frequencies to EQ, the answer was usually, oh, just keep practicing, just be patient, and you'll eventually get there. And that's really good advice because, you kind of need practice to really do anything in life. But it was always a little bit dissatisfying because I felt like I understood the tools really well, but I still felt myself sweeping, between frequencies to try to find the right frequency. And that took a lot of time. Now, when my new professor came, he brought with him a program called ear training. And that would become probably my favorite class of my entire college experience. So every week we would gather together in a closet-sized room because we didn't have the funding to really build a big studio for this new class. And it'd be a group of 4 of us, and he would teach us how to start to establish reference points throughout the frequency spectrum. Now, I don't want to talk too much about this just on camera because I couldn't possibly explain it as well as a produced video like the ones I've launched in the past. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to briefly play a clip of a video on the ear training method that this new professor taught me and my classmates. And I'm telling you, it changed everything in terms of my confidence in my ability to use EQ and to mix music. So enjoy. I'll be back in a few minutes. You can assign a vowel sound to each of the octave frequencies between 250 hertz and 4 kilohertz. 250 hertz, oo. 500 hertz, o. 1 kilohertz, ah. 2 kilohertz, a. 4 kilohertz, e. Okay, hopefully that made sense. When you play pink noise flat for a while, your ears will get used to it. And then when you apply a EQ boost at 1 kilohertz, that corresponds to the vowel sound ah. Okay, and the spelling might be a little bit different depending on which language you natively speak. But as a recap, we have a vowel sound for these 5 frequencies. We've got 250 hertz, which corresponds to oo, 500 hertz, which corresponds to o, 1 kilohertz, which corresponds to ah, and 2 kilohertz corresponds to a, and 4 kilohertz corresponds to e. And this is really, really helpful. Of course, you may ask, why are you using pink noise? We don't mix with pink noise. But the real power of this is that when you train with pink noise, you start to develop this ability to hear these vowel sounds in the actual music you're mixing, okay? So what I want to do is I want to first shout out that we have a new tool called the Ear Training Lab. And I've put a QR code up here. There's also a link in the description below that you can use to go try out that tool. Let me open that tool really quickly here, just to show you what it is and give you an idea of how to use it. So here in our members area, I'm going to click ear training, and that's going to take me. Now, the free version will look like this, and it's got the mid-range as well as these high and low frequencies I'm going to teach you later in this stream. But when you're a member, you'll have access to this full version that you can change all the settings here. Okay, so we're talking about mid-range right now. So let me change this to just the mid-range. And then I'm going to play some pink noise. And being that this is a stream on YouTube, the pink noise may or may not come through as intended, but that's okay because we can load up music as we'll do later in this live stream. But as an idea of these vowel sounds, I'm going to play pink noise on channel A, and that's going to be flat. And then I'm going to go over to channel C and start applying these filters so that you can hear the vowel sound that corresponds to each of these frequencies. Okay. Okay, so here's 250 hertz. That's flat again. 250 hertz. Flat again. Okay, before I move on, just let me know in the comments, are you able to hear that? Can you hear the ooh vowel sound pop out when I apply the 250 hertz filter? Let me know in the comments if you do, and we can move on once I see some bit of validation that that's coming through on YouTube, right? So we definitely don't want to... I'm listening to things here, as you know, as an audio person. I'm listening to things here on my end, but when it goes through the internet, a lot of things can happen. So I want to make sure that that ooh sound is coming through as intended. Okay. Let me know in the comments. Yes. Okay. Yes. So clear. Yes. Awesome. That's great. Okay. This is going to be fun. So what I'm going to do now is I'll go through these different frequencies, and as you'll hear, it's really quite obvious, these vowel sounds that pop out. Okay, so here's flat again. And let's go to 500 hertz this time. We're going to listen for O. All right, here's flat. And O, 500 hertz. All right, so now we've got ooh. That's 250 hertz, O, 500 hertz. And you can start to see that if you're mixing music and you're like, wow, that sounds like a lot of O in that guitar, you know, O. Maybe I should cut a little bit at 500 hertz. But we're gonna get there, okay? I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let's continue through these last three frequencies. So we've got ooh for 250, O for 500, and I'm gonna go through now to 1K next. So here's flat, and here's 1K. Flat. 1K. Okay, let's do 250 next. Here's flat. Yeah, I actually see a good comment here. It says, I hear ah in the A, dry. I hear ah on channel A here. And I mean, yeah, because pink noise contains 1 kilohertz. But what we are trying to do is listen to pink noise as it is for a while so that our brain starts to become accustomed to that. It's sort of like that color illustration or the color illusion that you might have seen in the past, where it shows everything with inverted colors, and then it goes to black and white, and your brain sees the green where there was purple, right? So it's important that we listen to this reference pink noise, and then in contrast to that, we hear these vowel sounds, Okay, so here's 2K again. We're listening for A. And here's flat again, and now we're going to listen for 4K. E. Dry. And now 4K. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense to you. 250 hertz is oo, 500 hertz, o, 1 kilohertz, ah, 2 kilohertz, a, 4 kilohertz, e. All right. So we're going to move on to talking about high frequencies, 8 kilohertz, 16 kilohertz in a moment. And then after that, we're going to talk about low frequencies, 63 hertz and 125 hertz. But for now, let's use this vowel sound method, or a better way to say it is the formant method. I'm going to bring up one of our members, Kareem, and I'm going to show you how this tool actually works. Okay, Kareem, thank you so much for your bravery in joining us. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Nice. So thank you for being a member. First off, we just did one of your mix reviews 2 days ago, and you said you've been following the ear training method through YouTube videos in the past, and we just launched this tool, so that's pretty new to you. But we're going to see if we can make it make sense and if we can use it to get better. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is we're in the ear training lab, and we're in the practice mode right now, and we're also in matching mode. So the way matching mode works, Kareem, is that we play channel A, which is flat, as we just heard, and then we go over to channel B, which is going to apply a filter. And then on channel C, it's going to be flat again until we put in a filter here. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to match channel C to channel B. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just restarting here so we can get a fresh slate. And I'm going to go down here to just the mid-range only. So let's play channel A, and then I'll flip over to channel B, and I want you to tell me which vowel sound you hear.
That sounds like an A.
That sounds like what?
A.
A. And what do you remember? You're right. I think I hear an A as
2K.
well. Yeah, nice. Okay. Good job. I could tell you've been practicing. So let's go from, if I were taking this test and I thought it was A, here's what it would look like. And you were correct, Kareem. Nice job. So the way this works is that in matching mode, right, we selected matching mode here at the top. Channel A is flat. We go to channel B, that's the mystery filter, and then we try to match that on channel C. Okay. Now, pink noise is one thing, okay, but music is what we're ultimately trying to apply this to, right? So let me just drag and drop an audio file in here, and I'm going to play this now. We're going to go to the next question, and I want you to try again. Okay, Kareem? So good job on the first one. And you told me before the show that you've only been practicing with pink noise so far.
Yeah.
So it'll be a little bit harder. I won't lie. And in our ear training course that's available to members, it's released tomorrow. So Kareem, tomorrow you'll be able to get into that course, and we talk about mid-range, and we extend the frequency ranges, and we also will get into training you up to the point where you'll use music. But for the first week, I recommend everybody just uses pink noise. But I think you'll be able to do this, okay? So I'm going to play this for a while so our ears can become accustomed to what this song should sound like. And then I'll put in the target on channel B, and we'll see if you can guess correctly. Okay, I'm going to put in that target. This is flat again. Flat again. And one more time I'll go to the target.
Yeah, it sounds like the E sound to me, the 4K.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right, so let's do it the way we would. We would listen on A, we'd listen to the filter on B, and then we're going to try to make C sound just like channel B, okay? So here we go. Oh, it starts the song over. I got to get a better song that starts out faster. Because it's really important that we can hear these frequencies, right? It'd be kind of hard to hear E on this part. It's more of an airiness, but when we start to get the cymbals in there, that has a lot of that frequency, right? So now I'll go over to B. We hear that E. And now, let's say we got it wrong at first. Oh, that's not right. That's not right. Aha. So it is in fact 4K, and you got it right. So you're doing a really good job. Nice. I'd encourage you, Kareem, to go check out this tool if you haven't done so already. And then you won't be able to get into the ear training course quite yet until tomorrow morning. Okay, but tomorrow morning, check back in the members area, and you should be able to get in there. Okay, I appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, I've been using this tool a lot over the last 2 days, so I'm glad to see my practice has been working out.
Yeah, and so what do you think about the membership otherwise? Like, right, just for those who are unfamiliar, let me take off this QR code in case you want to check out more of this. So the membership includes the Mixing Essentials course, which is taught by Gabe Herman. He's a professor at the University of Hartford's audio program. And then, that's got like 12 hours of content. And then to pair with that, we're adding in this ear training course and the ear training tool. And of course, as you know, you just did a mix review where you applied what you learned in the course and submitted it for a review by the course instructor. Basically, I just want to hear what you're thinking. And, you see the smirk on my face. I basically want everybody watching this live stream to know how cool the membership is. Is it cool?
Yeah. Yeah, it is cool. Yeah. I'll start with the Mixing Essentials. As somebody who is self-taught in the field of music composition and music production and mixing, it's invaluable to have a structured, thorough approach to learning all of these concepts. I'm like 80% through the course, and I've already learned a lot from it. Nice. Mix reviews are huge. I mean, getting feedback from somebody whose ear you can trust is invaluable for your development. And then there are just so many resources, especially the ear training. I'm really looking forward to this course because there are many tools, including the WebTED app that you've made a YouTube video about. And this program is very similar to it in a number of ways, but the difference between just using a tool and having somebody teach you is that you having a structured approach makes it a lot easier to improve more rapidly and in a structured way so that it makes sense to you and you can always make sure that you're progressing.
Yes. And that's what I realized when I thought the ear training class I had in college was awesome. I will forward people to the tool we used back then and they'll get the same effect. But then I realized actually what made that class so powerful is that my instructor made a whole curriculum that took us from pink noise at plus 12 dB to pink noise at plus 6 dB to music at plus 6 dB to music at minus 6 dB cuts, which is something that I haven't even gotten into in my videos. And eventually, after doing, I think, 3 semesters of the ear training at my college, I was able to, and me and all of my classmates were able to hear multiple filters. So you go over to channel B and it applies a boost here and a cut over here. And so that's where ultimately the ear training courses are going to try to get you guys as members. So look forward to that. I will send out an email, and yeah, let me know what you think. And again, thank you for coming up here and being brave.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, talk to you soon. Okay, before we move on to the next part, where we talk about high frequencies and low frequencies, I want to give some people that are not Audio University members yet a chance to come up here. So it looks like we've got Jim K. I'm going to bring you up, Jim. Jim, can you hear me? Test 1, 2. Jim, can you hear me? Okay. So one thing that's important is that if you're watching the YouTube live stream, that's going to be behind a little bit. So when you click that link to come backstage with us, close that window or at least mute it and make sure you're listening to us through that new window that opens up. So I'll come back to you, Jim. But Shalom, can you hear me? Test 1, 2. Can you hear me? All right. Oh yeah.
Hi,
Hi. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Nice. So did you see the process that we went through with Kareem, where we used the ear training tool?
Yes, I've seen the ear training program, but I'm still in beginner and then learning the sounds and then trying to understand how it sounds and then what are the. Yes.
Well, with that being said, because you're a beginner to the ear training, I'm going to take it back to pink noise, okay? So that should make it a little bit easier to identify. But are you up for trying this out a little bit? See if you can identify?
I would say next time.
Next time,
I
okay.
was,
That's all right, no worries. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take you off screen, and we can only have 10 people up here with us. So what I'll do then is I'll take you out of this room, but you can still go and watch on YouTube, okay?
yeah, sure.
All right, thanks for coming. All right, let's take care of that real quick. Allison, I'm going to bring up next. Allison, can you hear me? Allison, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, how you doing?
Fine.
So are you familiar with the process where I'll open up the ear training tool and test you on a frequency? Do you think you're up for that challenge?
Yes. Let's
All right,
go.
let's do it. This is pretty fun. This is the first time I've done this, and it's working out pretty well. Okay, so let me go back here and open up the ear training tool. We're going to go next question. And then instead of, do you want to do music or do you want to do pink noise? What do you think? Let's start with pink noise,
Pink
and
noise,
then we'll
okay.
move on to music, okay?
Okay.
So we're starting with pink noise. I'm going to play dry, and then we'll go to the target, and then I'll pause it, and you let me know which vowel sound you hear and which frequency corresponds to that vowel sound, okay?
Okay.
All right, here's flat again. We're going to do it one more time. All right. So what do you think?
Is that ah?
It's similar to ah. It's close to ah, I should say, but it's not ah. All right. And the way we can do that, let's say you guessed ah on channel C, and we'll see if they're the same. Okay.
Okay.
So here's channel B. Okay. So you see that those aren't the same.
Okay.
But do you think that the ah is lower frequency or higher frequency than the sound we actually heard? I'm going to go between them real quick so you can hear, okay? So here's the sound we're trying to guess, and here's the ah sound on channel C, okay? So here's the sound we're trying to guess. Right? Do you hear how the ah is a little bit lower than that A sound that we heard? What I'm going to do is I'll take this over to 2K, and let's experiment with going between A and C, channel A and C, to see if we can hear that, okay? Here's flat. Here's flat again. And A. Are you hearing that, Allison?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, nice. So I'm going to go through this and submit the answer, and then we'll go to another exercise here.
Good.
Okay, so we're going to do another one. Are you up for that? Is that cool?
Yes. Let's go.
Okay. Here's flat. And here's the tip of the filter. What do you think?
It's an E.
Yeah, I think you're right. So let's try it again. We're going to go A, B, and then C is going to be just like A at first until we apply the filter. And hopefully, when we apply that 4K filter that corresponds to E, it's going to match channel B. Okay, so we'll try that again. Nice. So good work. Are you a member, Allison, currently?
No.
Okay, that's okay. You can access this version of the ear training lab right here with a link in the description below the YouTube stream if you want to go check that out. Okay. So it's up to you. I mean, if this ear training program and method seems interesting to you, then there is a free way to get started. And then if you decide that you want those weekly customized exercises along with the course, you know where to find it, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Yep. All right. So it looks like Jim came back up. Let's get Jim back up here. Jim, can you hear me now? Oh, his camera just disappeared. Oh, we're like playing phone tag. Okay. So I hope everyone's starting to see how this method works in the mid-range. In the mid-range, between 250 hertz and 4 kilohertz, we use vowel sounds to identify these frequencies. But there are more frequencies in audio than just vowel sounds, right? So let me show you a clip from a video where I teach how to hear the high frequencies. Okay, and before I do that, I just want to mention for everybody, if you become a member, you get access to the ear training course, which is really made to be used with the Mixing Essentials course. We call it our Mixing and Ear Training program. It's 15 weeks, and you can get access to that. And I'm actually at the end of this stream going to provide you with a coupon code that's going to allow people on this stream only to get a discount using that code. But if you wanted to check out more about the Mixing and Ear Training program, you can find a link below, or you can click this QR code, or take a picture. You know how it works. All right, let me show you that clip of how to hear the high frequencies. Frequencies above 4 kilohertz, you can listen for sibilance. Sibilance is the hissing quality often used to describe the S sound. To identify 8 kilohertz and 16 kilohertz, we're going to listen for the distinct character of the sibilance. 8 kilohertz is a pure S sound, while 16 kilohertz is a bit sharper, like an S mixed with a T. Tss. I decided to take a sip of my coffee at the worst time possible. Okay, so rather than vowel sounds, because there are only so many vowel sounds, right? Rather than vowel sounds, we're using the sibilance to make a reference point. Okay, and if this is all sort of confusing, I also want to just offer you the ear training guide. That's a free guide. You sign up for it, you put your email in, and we email that to you as a PDF. And that's got all of these things I'm talking about. It's got the cues for the lows that we'll talk about in just a few minutes. It's got the vowel or formant method for the mids, and it's got the sibilance method for the highs. Now, the sibilance is a little bit more difficult to hear with pink noise. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the ear training lab, and we're going to go down here to the settings. And instead of doing mids, we're just going to do highs. Okay, this is going to include 4K, so we can learn to differentiate 4K and 8K. With pink noise, 4K comes across quite well. E. 8K, it comes across pretty well. S, like a nice pure S. And then 16K can be a little bit difficult to hear with pink noise, and I would imagine that it's going to be particularly difficult to hear over YouTube on a live stream, no less. Okay, but let's try it real quick. So I'm just going to go up here to channel A. As a refresh will be the dry, unaffected pink noise signal. Then we go to channel B, and it's going to apply a mystery filter. And then we're going to go to channel C, and we're going to try to pick which of these frequencies it is based on the cue that we hear. Do we hear an E? Do we hear a nice S sound? Or do we hear this more abrasive TS sort of sound? All right, so let's do it. Here's flat. All right, let me know in the comments what you're hearing. I think I know it already. Okay, so what I'm hearing is an E sound. So let's try that again, and then we'll go over to channel C and put in that answer, and we'll see if we can make channel B and channel C match. Okay. So yes, we got it. Now, it's really important that we play pink noise again, so that, because the last thing we heard was pink noise with 4K boosted, and we want to remind our ears that we are what pink noise really sounds like. Okay, so here it is. All right, so we're back to that bass line. Let's try another one. Okay, so we're listening for E, that would be 4K. S would be 8K, or it's really kind of hard to do, but a T and a TS sounds like a really sharp S. Okay, let's try it. Okay, so this one's definitely not an E, right? So we're between 8K and 16K. Let's go over here to the answer section, and we're going to apply that filter. And after I do that, I want you to let me know in the comments which one you think it is. Okay, so here's flat. Was the filter this or this? Here's flat again. Was the filter 16K or 8K? Here's flat again. And then I'm going to go back over to the question. Okay. So I think I know the answer now. Like I said, with pink noise, it's kind of hard to hear because there's so much going on. Right? So I see some people saying 16K, some people saying 8K. Let's do it as if I were just taking this test here. I'm going to go... Yes. So yeah, this is different here. What we were hearing was that S sound, the 8K. Now, again, on my end, I'm hearing everything locally. It's just audio signals coming straight to my headphones. On your end, there's a lot of YouTube happening between you and me, and it might be more difficult to hear on your side than it is on mine. But we did get a lot of correct answers. Yeah, so nice job on that. Let me pull somebody up here to come do this with me. So Jim, I'm going to bring you up again. Can you hear me now? All right, I can't hear you, but we're going to do this anyway. Is your mic muted? Oh, well, so strange. But I think what we can do, because we're only dealing with 3 frequencies, is you give me the old 4, 8. There you go. 4, 8, 16. All right. All right, cool. So we're going to go back to the lab, and I'm going to play this for you. We'll start with flat. I'll apply the mystery filter, and I'll go back and forth a little bit so you can hear that jump, okay? Okay, what do you think you heard? It's kind of tricky, right? Yeah, and were you between 4K and 8K? Because there's an E sound there, but I do think I heard that S. So let's get back in here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put. What did you say again? You said 8K, right? Okay, so I'm gonna apply the 8K, and if you're right, channel B and channel C are gonna match. Okay, so here's flat. Here's the question. Nice. All right, so you got it. And that's the thing. Okay, so we got to keep in mind that the frequency spectrum is a spectrum, right? And we're not just boosting 8K. What we're doing is boosting a bell that's centered on 8K, right? And so as you do that, you're going to boost some 4K and you're going to boost some 16K at the same time. So nice job. Let's do one more, okay? Do you think you're up for music on this one? Yeah? Okay. Your mime abilities are phenomenal, by the way. Yeah, exactly. Wow, it's like there's actually a computer screen right there. Okay. So let's go back here, and I'm going to flip back over to the custom file. We're going to play it a little bit because I want to make sure those symbols are in there, okay? Because that's where a lot of this 4K, 8K, and 16K exists. Whoops. Let's make sure we take the filter out first. Next question. We'll give our ears a chance to understand what this song sounds like. All right, I'm going to add in the filter. This is flat again. And I'm adding in the filter in 5, 4. That's a tough one. It seems super subtle. All right, so I see in the comments 16K, I think. What do you think, Jim? See, 16, 16. You're looking at 8K. Jim gives me the finger symbol for 8K. Let's go. And we're going to see. Okay. So I'll put in 8K as your answer over here. And then we're going to see if those match. And the music starts over, of course. Got to get a better song. So already, see how almost impossible that is. Okay, here's the question. And here's Jim's answer. Okay, so that is different. Do you want to change your answer? Yeah, I think you're right. So let's switch it to 16K, and now we'll see if channel B and C match. So I'm going to go back to A because I want to make sure we're always reinforcing the reference, what it should sound like, okay? So here's A, then we'll go to B, and hopefully C sounds the same as B. I'll be honest, that was a tough one, Jim. 16K can be really, really hard to hear, I would guess, especially over YouTube. Because even on my end, it's coming through crystal clear, perfect, uncompressed, as you can see. But there's a lot happening between you and me, and I would imagine that a lot of that symbol quality is being rolled off on your end. All right, but thank you for joining us. Nice work. Well, because you don't have a microphone, I won't give you the full interview, but you heard me before. If you're a member currently, then you've got access to this already. And are you? Okay, good. I didn't know if it was the right Jim. Yeah, please take advantage of the other features we've got, like the mix reviews, the mixing essentials, and let me know in the DMs of the community if there's anything we can do to make it better for you. Okay? Thank you, Jim. All right. Let's bring somebody else up here. I see Lautaro. I'm not sure if I said your name right. Probably not. Can you hear me?
Hi, yeah, I can hear you.
Hi. So first, how do I say your name?
It's Lau Taro.
Lautaro. Okay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Do you think let's start with pink noise on this one, okay?
All right.
So, but you've been watching, you understand the way this game works, right?
Yeah.
Go?
Yeah.
Okay. And as a reminder, if anybody wants to try this for themselves, you can find a link in the description below the YouTube video. You can find it below the Facebook stream, and that'll take you to the guided free version, what we call the Ear Training Lab Starter. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on here to the app, and I'm going to play flat pink noise, then we'll apply the target. I'll go back and forth, and then I'll pause it, and you let me know what you hear. Okay, Lautordo?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, can you hear that? I can hear it on my end. Were you able to hear it on your end? It's possible that you simply were not. Okay. And so what do you think it was? And in the comments, let us know what you think.
I think it was an E.
You thought you heard an E? Okay.
Yeah.
So again, you probably did hear an E because pink noise contains all of these things. But the answer is not E. And I think that might be a limitation of the stream that we're using right now. So what I'm hearing right now is the T S sound. The tss, tss. Okay.
Oh.
Yep. And like I said, though, if you were here or if you're using it on your own computer, it might be different. Or, hey, maybe you're just starting to use this ear training program, and it takes some practice.
That might
before
be.
you get
That
there,
might
right?
be it. Yeah.
So no shame in that. But what I want to do, though, just to make this more fun, is let's go down here. I'm going to put in 16K because I'm almost certain that's what it was. And then I'm going to go down here and I'll change this back to mids because I think testing over the internet, the high frequencies, is asking a lot of YouTube. Okay. So we'll go here. Now we're listening for a vowel sound. Okay. Between 250 and 4K.
Okay.
Do you remember what those sound like? We've got 250 is ooh, 500 is o, 1K is
Yeah.
ah.
U, O, A, A, and
Yep,
E.
and
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. All right, here we go. All right, what do you think?
I think it sounds like 2K.
Like 2K. Okay, let's put in 2K, and we're going to see if channel C matches the target. Okay.
Okay.
You hear the difference. So
Yeah.
now we ask ourselves, okay, was our guess higher pitched or, higher frequency or lower frequency?
I think, lower. Maybe A.
Okay. So you think that our guess was higher in the frequency, and what it really should be is 1K. Let's try that.
All right.
Nice. Yeah,
Nice.
That's what I like to hear. So let's do another one. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Do you know it?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's A.
It's
again. Yeah.
Correct. Yep. All right, let's try one more. And if it's the same again, we're just going to put it in. And I want to give you a
Okay.
challenge, all right?
Okay. Yeah.
Here's flat again. All right, what do you think?
I think it is O, like 500.
All right, let's see if you're right.
Hey.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Nice.
Nice.
Are you a member, by the way?
No.
I didn't think so. I didn't recognize your name. So yeah, I mean, you know this. You know the deal. It's like you can either become a member and get access to the full thing where you can focus on certain frequencies, or if you follow the link below this video, you can get the access to the free version, which will walk you through the mids, the highs, and the lows. But of course, like, you know, that will make a huge difference. But I think it's safe to say that you've got to continue practicing for a long time, right? Doing like 12 exercises on each of these things is not going to stick. But yeah. So I wanted to ask you also, are you up for a challenge with music?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm up.
Okay. All right, let's do that. Just as a reminder for everybody, the ear training guide, the QR code here, we've also got a link below. That's a free guide. You can download it, and it's got references for the lows, which we'll talk about in a moment, the vowel sounds or formants in the mids, and the highs, which is the sibilance. And it's pretty hard to hear the highs. That's why we start here in the mids, okay? But I think you're up for the challenge of music. So let me play this real quick, and then we'll test you. All right, here's flat. And I'm going to apply the filter in 3, 2. All right, here's flat again. And do you have any guesses?
I have an idea. Yeah.
All right, so here's A again, just for those listening. What do you think? All right, then here's B. Flat again. And now that there's more going on, it might be easier to hear because there's more frequencies present. All right, we see some answers in the comments. What do you think?
I think it's A.
Ah,
Like 1K. Yeah.
nice. All right, let's try it. We're gonna. I'm gonna go to A. That'll be flat. B will be the question. When we go to C, at first it'll be flat, and then I'm gonna apply 1K. I'm gonna see if you're right. Okay.
All right.
Moment of truth.
Yay. Let's go.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay. Good. So can you see the power in that? Can you see it's kind of fun first off?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
It's like,
It's fun.
rather than just listening for like, oh, it's muddy, and like the last 3 times I heard muddy, it meant something different, right? But now when you hear ah, it always
Yeah.
means 1K, with some exceptions, because as you start to get into more advanced levels of the ear training course that's available to members, what you'll learn is that because frequencies tend to mask higher frequencies, you might hear ah, but in reality, it's just because there's a little bit less A. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of hard, right? So I don't know. I might be going a little too far for this live stream, but basically, you hear ah, and the first place I would do is I'd try to cut some 1K, right? And if I hear O, the first thing I'm going to do is try to cut some 500. But as you get further and further into our course, you're going to learn that sometimes too much ah may not be too much 1K, but it might be not enough of another frequency. Okay, so just take that for what it's worth.
All right.
All right. Thank you for joining us. let's quickly go through what I've been talking about this whole time in terms of the course and these different links and everything. So again, Ear Training Guide is a free downloadable PDF. You can scan the QR code, you can click the link below, and you enter your email address, and I'll email you the PDF. It's as simple as that. We've also got the Starter Pass, which is a way to get into our members area at a free tier, and it's a collection of videos and podcasts and discounts and giveaways and all of the guides that we make. So you'll find the ear training guide with the starter pass, but you'll also get the instrument frequency guide and the audio university exam and the let me just show you. So once you get in here as a member, as a starter pass member, which is a free tier, you get access to the learn page, and you get access to the resources. And within the resources, like I said, acoustic panel blueprint, you've got some downloadable multi-tracks, you've got all of these different guides, including the ear training lab. And if I click that, it opens up the free version. And this will walk you through 500 through 4K, the mid-range, 8K through 16K, and then the lows, 63, 125, and 250. Okay. Where are we here? I'm going to go back to the resources page. You'll also have the free events there, and when we have giveaways, we post those for the free members too. If you decide to become a pro member, then that's when you get access to the coaching, where we have Ask a Professor, where you can ask a real professor, Gabe Herman, and other professors from different schools around the world. You can ask a question, and then you'll get either a video or a comment that answers your specific question. We have mix reviews where you can submit your mix for a review here. And then all of these are past reviews where we actually, we open this up with a professor, Gabe Herman. We get you up here and we talk about the mix. So that was Kareem's mix I was just mentioning. And he opens up plugins. Gabe opens up plugins to try to allow you to hear what he would do if he were working on your mix. And then we also have office hours. It's a free live group coach. I'm sorry, it's not free. You're a pro member, but it's included as a pro member. And you get access to that hour and a half of live group coaching. And of course, we have all of these courses, Mixing Essentials, as I mentioned earlier. And then you got the ear training course, which looks like this. We've got week 1 here. And we've got all of these other weeks adding up to 15 weeks total that will progressively walk you through the ear training exercises in the ear training lab to the point where at the end of that 15 weeks, you'll be able to hear peaks or dips of only 6 dB, right? So right now we've only been working on this live stream of 12 dB peaks, but it's not always there's too much of something. Sometimes there's not enough of something in a mix. And that's why over that 15 weeks, we work with pink noise and music and peaks and dips so that we get closer and closer to being able to just listen to a song, say that has a little bit too much A in it, and then we know what to do, right? Okay. Any questions in the comments? I'm going to play another clip here that's going to go over the lows. But if you have any questions about what I've discussed here, leave them in the comments, and I'll be looking at that while this clip plays. Okay, so this is how we identify reference points in the low frequencies. Frequencies below 250 hertz don't really correlate to vowel sounds or sibilant sounds, but instead to haptic sensations. Haptics are the felt vibrations of sound throughout the body. You might have experienced haptic sound at a concert with powerful subwoofers or at a fireworks display.
Plus center.
If you listen carefully to the following clips with full range speakers, you can feel the low frequency energy in your body. The way I was taught to feel it is to feel 125 hertz in your chest and 63 hertz in your abdomen. The low frequencies do take a bit more practice, and they are much more difficult to hear on small speakers. So don't worry if these are more difficult to feel at first. For many. Okay, so haptics. We've all felt that at concerts and, with big subwoofers. It's when you feel sound in your body. And that's how we can train ourselves to hear really low frequencies like 63 hertz and 125 hertz. I'm not sure how well this will come across on the YouTube stream. Of course, if you're here, or if you open up this app or the ear training lab on your computer, then you'll be able to hear everything perfect. It's uncompressed audio. But when we start to stream it over YouTube, our results might vary. So let's try it out though. Okay, so I'm going to go down here to the low frequencies. And I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try it with pink noise. And in the comments, let me know what you think. So we're going to start with flat, and then I'll go over to B, which will be our mystery frequency, or a mystery filter, I should say. And then I'll toggle between those, and you let me know what you think you're hearing. Just as a recap for that clip, 63 hertz, you would feel in your stomach, in your abdomen. It's like a subwoofer's beating, and you're feeling it in your gut. At 125 hertz, you'd feel it in your chest if you had a big subwoofer playing. And 250 hertz, as we know from earlier, is that ooh sound. Okay, so let's try this out. Okay, so lows are the hardest, and that's why they come third in the curriculum. But does anybody have an idea or a guess of what that sounds like, or of which frequency that is? Let me actually go over here to C, and I'm going to go through these three filters so that we get an idea of what those should sound like, okay? I already see the correct answer. Nice job. So here's C. It's going to start flat, and then I'll toggle between these filters, and you let me know which one you think is on channel B. Okay, I'm going to do that one more time. So we'll start with flat. And then I'll go to the mystery filter that we're trying to guess. And then I'm going to go through from flat to each of these, and you tell me which one you think it is. There's 63. There's 125. And there's 250. All right. I am seeing a lot of people on the stream are saying 125. And I'm glad that that's coming across, because that is in fact the answer. So to verify that, I'll make my answer 125. And if B and C match, then we got it right. Nice. But let's remind ourselves what pink noise should sound like so we don't start going crazy. Okay. It's always important to remind yourself what the reference signal actually sounds like. Otherwise, you start getting lost. And that's actually a part of the ear training course. We start out with matching mode, but then we eventually evolve into more and more challenging exercises. And some of those include, once you leave channel A, once you leave the flat unfiltered sound, you can't go back. And so you have to remember, or you have to train yourself over the course of weeks to know what flat does sound like. And then you'll be able to return there even as your ear starts to become used to these filtered sounds. Okay, so let's open up music here. Actually, let me bring somebody up. I'm gonna bring up Clarence. Clarence, can you hear me? Clarence, are you able to hear us? Okay. Might have a mic. Oh yeah,
I can
nice.
hear you.
Yeah, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you. Cool. So do you get how this works? We've got the ear training lab, and have you been watching the stream? Do you understand how it all works?
Yes, I understand how it all works.
Nice.
I've been watching.
And you remember, no? Okay.
No, I'm not, but I'm
Yeah,
going to
cool.
be
We
soon.
have Clarence as a
Yeah.
member, and I just didn't know if you're the same one. But okay, let's put you to the test here. I'm going to try you with pink noise, okay? We're going to do some in the lows, and then I'm going to give you a chance, just in case that doesn't go well, I'm going to give you a chance to redeem yourself in the mids, okay? All right, so,
Okay.
yep,
All
I'll
right,
go
let's
here,
go.
and we're going to play flat, and then B will be the mystery filter, and then I'll go back and forth, and I'll pause it, and you let me know what you think it is, okay? In the comments, you can participate as well.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any guesses?
I'm gonna have to guess 250.
You guess 250? And what's your reasoning behind that? What did
I'm
you
using
hear?
a laptop.
Did you hear the ooh sound?
I felt like it wasn't very low.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't on the very low end.
I agree.
But I don't trust my
Yeah,
speakers.
right. So I agree with you that it did sound like there was some ooh, but I know the answer is not ooh. It's actually 125. And it's really quite hard to hear this on pink noise, actually. Okay? So let's play this again. And I'm gonna put in ooh at first, and then we'll hear that they're different, and I'll move it down. You'll hear the difference, okay? So this is now applied to channel C, but we're first gonna listen to flat, then the mystery filter, and then we're gonna compare that to your answer, okay?
All right.
Yeah, so you hear how that ooh is much more pronounced on the 250. With the 125, it's kind of hard to, I mean, the cue is hear it, feel it in your chest, but what if you're listening on headphones? And what if you're, listening on speakers that don't have a big sub? Somebody in there actually said, it sounds like the subway. And I think that's actually a really good way to remember it. It sounds, for me, it sounds like something scooting, or it sounds like a big, a starship or something like that, right? Like, I can't even make the sound. But let's go back, and I'm gonna contrast the 250 to the ooh, or the ooh of 250 to the 125. Okay. So here's flat.
All right.
Here's what we're trying to get. Here's what you said. Right, it's actually 125. Now I'm curious to know, how is it easier or is it harder to use music than pink noise? Okay, so I'm going to try this again. It'll be a different question maybe, but let me know what you think about music, okay? So you hear that kick drum. So that's funny because you hear that, yeah, there's a boost, but I think you need to load a file in here that's not so close to 0 dB, because if you boost something and it goes over that digital limit, it creates harmonic distortion throughout the whole thing. Yeah. But do you have a guess as to what frequency that was being boosted?
63.
Yeah, that one's 63. And that one, it feels a lot rounder to me, right? As opposed to the really like the 125 really hits you. So I'm going to put in 63 and we're going to see if you're right.
Could you play it one more time?
Yeah, sure. Here's flat.
Okay.
Here's the question. And here's your answer. Nice. Okay, so nice job, Clarence. If you wanted to try out the free version first, you know where to find it. There's a link below. Everybody should probably download this ear training guide because that's got everything I've talked about today in a PDF form. But if you want to go ahead and become a member, I mean, then you have access to the mixing program, which includes Mixing Essentials course, ear training course, and the full ear training lab. Okay, so nice job. I wanted to talk about this a little bit, though, because when we boosted 63, it created a boost at 63, as everybody heard, but it also created some higher frequency harmonics, right? Because we're starting to distort the signal. That's not a feature. That was a bug. Okay. I think what I should do is probably create an audio file that has at least 12 dB of headroom so that we can boost things without putting them into distortion. Okay. And this is a good audio lesson, which is why I'm going to take a moment to explain it. So again, I'm going to go here and I'll play this, and then I'm going to put in 63, and we're going to hear there's a boost in the low end, but you also hear some other stuff happening in the mid frequencies. So here's before and after. Okay, so why is that important? Well, when you create distortion, harmonic distortion is harmonic, right? So if you boost 60, or let's say 63, and you distort that, what's the first harmonic of 63? Well, it's 125. It's actually 126, but you're doubling the frequency. So when we went into distortion, you would have been actually right to say that yes, 125 was being increased and 250 was being increased as well, because these are harmonically related to 63. Now, if that makes no sense, it's not really that important, but it's just sort of a nerdy aside that I wanted to take you on. So ideally, what we would do is we would put in an audio file that has headroom enough to boost. And throughout the ear training course for members, we're going to have audio files that you can download and put in the tool. You don't have to use your own. However, you can use your own, and you can even use your own if you're using the free version. Okay. So let's take a moment. I'm going to be here for a little while longer, but let's take a moment in the comments. I want to hear, what do you guys think? Do you have questions? Somebody earlier, as I'm waiting for more questions, somebody said, let me see if we can find it here. Going through. Okay. By the way, that was a great comment there. 125 sounds like the subway rumbling to me. I agree. Couldn't agree more. And I think that's a really good way to think about it. But there was a comment up here. Here we go. Yes, it was Jim, actually, who said, how would one feel when mixing on headphones? And I don't know about you, but I'm going to replay this clip. And even if you're using headphones, there's something about it where, like, my memory of being at a concert, when I hear that sound in headphones, I can almost feel a phantom haptic experience in my chest or in my abdomen. Okay. So even though I'm on headphones right now, I've been to so many concerts, and I've been side stage just getting blasted in monitor world by this subwoofer, that I know the feeling that corresponds to what I'm hearing. Okay. So let me play that real quick, and you let me know if you hear the same thing. Frequencies below 250 hertz don't really correlate to vowel sounds or sibilant sounds, but instead to haptic sensations. Haptics are the felt vibrations of sound throughout the body. You might have experienced haptic sound at a concert with powerful subwoofers or at a fireworks display.
Plus center.
If you listen carefully to the following clips with full range speakers, you can feel the low frequency energy in your body. The way I was taught to feel it is to feel 125 hertz in your chest and 63 hertz in your abdomen. The low frequencies do take a bit more practice, and they are much more difficult to hear on small speakers. So don't worry if these are more difficult to feel at first. For many. All right, so hopefully you felt what I meant, and maybe not. That's okay. I have started to realize this after years of doing this ear training, and so maybe it's just that I'm used to associating those things, and that's why I feel it. But something about it, even listening in headphones, I had like that phantom feeling in my chest, especially when there was like the doof, 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 right? I almost felt it. Okay, we do see some questions here. Here's another good analogy here. 63 in my earbuds sounds like my house windows rattling from a car. And, you know, that probably is 63 hertz when a big car comes through and your whole house is sort of resonating with that sound. It's quite possible. Another person says, though, I'm already subscribed to this channel. What does subscription get me? I'm hearing a little bit of distortion on my voice. I'm going to take this down a little bit. So yeah, if you're subscribed to the channel, I appreciate it. I'm going to continue bringing free videos every week so that you can continue to get the same value you've gotten all the way up till this point over the years. If you join as a free member, which you can do using the link below, you'll just join for the starter pass. There's a link below that says starter pass. Join for the starter pass, and that's going to give you access to the free part of our membership area. So in here, everything under this Audio University banner is available for people with the starter pass. That's going to include YouTube videos and podcasts that we post. It's going to include all of the resources you've heard, such as the acoustic panel blueprint. The ear training lab free is also available. Instrument frequency range guide, and all of these are freely available if you sign up for the starter pass. And then we also have some free events coming up that you can join, such as this one right here. As far as a paid subscription, you become a pro member, and that gives you access to the community where we've got all these conversations going on. You can show your work, where you actually upload videos, maybe, of yourself in your setup. Maybe you just upload a mix so that people can come through and give you feedback on it. But if you wanted expert feedback, that's when our coaching really starts to come into play. So in the coaching section, we have Ask a Professor, where you can pose a question, and Gabe, the teacher of our Mixing Essentials course, will take those questions and provide answers that give expert feedback. You can also get feedback on your work in particular. So if you apply what you learn in our courses to a mix, whether it's your own mix or the multi-tracks that we provide you, then you can submit that here, and then we go through and we listen to the mix, and Gabe gives you really, really constructive feedback. If anybody's in the comments right now who's a member, just help me out here and let everybody else know how good those mix reviews are. We also have office hours, where every month we get together for a live group coaching call, and it's just face to face. It's Gabe, it's me, and it's our members, and it's basically ask me anything. And then of course we have our course library, which is right here, and that includes the Mixing Essentials course. That's a really, really solid course taught by Gabe Herman. Gabe Herman is this guy you see right here. He's a professor of audio production at the University of Hartford's Hart School. He's been mixing professionally for over 25 years. He's been teaching professionally for 20 plus years, and that makes all the difference. We also have the ear training, which starts tomorrow. So if you sign up now, you'll get your first week of ear training tomorrow. And the program is 15 weeks long. So you sign up. That reminds me, I promised everybody a coupon code, and I'm going to deliver on that right now. So if you're here on the live stream, I want to offer you this coupon code. Where is it here? I got to find out how to use my tool. There we go. So the live stream discount if you go to the link below this video and you use coupon code LIVE50, we're going to give you a discount that's going to expire tonight. So if you want to get that discount, then please sign up using that coupon code. All right, let's answer some more questions, and let's also go through and test some more ears. All right, going through these questions, I see what does Pro cost? You can find that in the link below. All the information's there, and that's also how you sign up for the starter pass anyway, so check it out. Any advice? That's not really related. I want to make sure we stay related here. Oh yeah, here's Mac giving us some love. It says, I go to the mix reviews as much as I possibly can because it covers so much more than the technicalities. It covers songwriting, instrument playing, tracking, and recording, and of course mixing. And Mac, I mean, you're one of our most engaged members. You go to almost every single event, whether it's your mix being reviewed or not, and I appreciate that. And I would guess that you've learned a lot from seeing other people's mixes reviewed. Yeah, Arco, thank you. Also a very engaged member, and I appreciate the fact that you are here, both of you guys. So thank you. Let's see if we have any other questions, though, from viewers about this. All right. Doesn't look like we have many, unless I'm just missing them here. So what I want to do next is bring somebody up. So let me look through who's here. I've got Simon here. Simon, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me, mate?
Yeah, I can.
Lovely.
Nice to meet you. You're not a member, are you?
No, not yet.
Okay. Are you thinking about becoming one, though?
Possibly.
Nice.
I'm currently enrolled in a school program as well.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, yeah, I mean, it's up to you. And as I mean, I've said over and over and over, it's probably getting annoying at this point, but there are free resources below.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that. Okay. So if you decide to become a member, that's great. And if not, you know where to find us if you ever decide that's a step you want to take. Let's get into this ear training, though. Okay. So I'll give you, the choice. What do you want to do? Lows, mids, or highs? And you want to use pink noise or music?
Well, to my ears, the mids translate the best
over YouTube for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll go with mids.
Yeah. Shall we just start with some pink noise?
Yeah. Let's do it. Okay. So I will open up the ear training lab. Let me make sure everything's in place here. So I don't remember what this was. Oops. It was 250. Okay. So I'm going to go to mids, and then we're going to go to pink noise. And you know how it works. Just for everybody watching who's just joining, we're going to start on channel A, and that is going to be just a flat pink noise signal. And then we'll flip to channel B, which will apply a mystery filter. And then we're going to try to match that filter on channel C. Okay, so I'll just toggle between A and B for a few so you can get so you can hear what the difference is. Here we go. All right, Simon. Moment of truth.
Right. Sounds about like a 250 or like a 500.
Okay. So
Definitely.
what are you hearing? What's the cue that's making you go into that
I'm
range?
definitely hearing like an ooh.
Okay. Yeah, and so if ooh would correspond to 250.
Yeah.
So let's put that in as your answer.
Yeah.
And we'll see if you're right. If B and C sound the same, then Simon got it correct. Let's go. Nice. All right. So I'll offer you two choices here. Okay. Simon, do you want to go with music on your next question, or do you want to reduce from 12 dB down to 6 dB and see what you do?
Ooh, we can go down to 6 dB.
Okay. let's do it. So we're going to stick with pink noise, and the same rules apply though. Okay, A is dry, B is the mystery filter, and C is the answer. I'm going to give people a little bit of time to answer in the comments though before I reveal it. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll hear your answer, and then we'll see if people in the comments agree with you.
Of course.
All right. In the comments, what do you think? Which vowel sound did you hear, and what frequency corresponds with that? Simon, what do you think?
Oh, I'm hearing an A or like an R, so I'm
Okay.
stuck between like a 1 or 2K.
Yeah, so we know that A corresponds to 1K and A corresponds to 2K. Let's go here to this area, and we're going to put in those two, okay? And I want you to use your acoustic memory to remember which one is correct, okay? So here we go. Here's flat. And here's 2K. And here's 1K. And here's flat again. So does that solidify it for you?
Yeah, it's definitely 1K.
Nice. All right, and we see a lot of 1Ks in the comments as well, so that's good. Let's put in 1K, submit the answer, and you are correct. It's plus 6 dB, so nice job. Yeah. Have you tried, have you seen this ear training method before, or is this your first time?
Yeah, we do it a lot. Use the golden ears by Dave.
Yeah, Dave Moulton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, and
So-
the Dave Moulton, that used to be like the gold standard. I mean,
Yeah.
pardon my pun, but for me, it was like, it required so much, just like so many reps, you know? Whereas this, it's like once actually I realized that these vowel sounds correspond to these different frequency bands, it's almost like overnight I was able to start at least hearing them a little bit. And then I would have moments where I was like, oh, that's an A or an A. But,
Yeah.
right? This method for me seemed to work a lot better than golden ears, but I can say that golden ears is very respected and very helpful system.
Of course. Yeah.
Thank you, Simon. I appreciate it.
No worries.
Yeah, we'll talk to you later. And yeah, Simon, you're gone, but like, let me know if you have any questions. Okay, you can just send me an email at support@audiouniversityonline.com. Okay. All right, let's bring up Alice. I'm not sure what this is. Can you hear me? And how do I say your name?
Hey,
Hey,
I was looking at my phone. Alice.
Alice.
It's
Nice
great.
to meet you, Alice. And you're not a member yet, are you? Okay, I
No,
didn't
no, I'm
recognize your name. So, but you know how this game works. We're gonna play with the ear training lab. Now
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
give
yeah.
you the same option I gave Simon. Do you want the lows, the mids, or the highs, at least? Okay.
The mids is okay.
Everybody's like, yeah, let's go with the mids. And then I'll actually ask you now,
Yeah.
do you want to do pink noise or do you want to do music? Okay.
Music.
Cool. So let's go in here. I'll open up the guide or the lab. Now, as a reminder, this version where you can change all the settings, that's for members only. If you are a part of the ear training course, that's for members only. That version of the ear training lab actually gives you a week and tasks for each week, right? So for all the 15 weeks, you have a curriculum that will progressively take you where you want to go. And then if you decide to go with the free version, then we're just going to have these 3 tiers here. It's all matching mode, and it's all automated for you, but it's all plus 12 dB, right? We don't get down to the 6, and it's all boosts. We never try cuts. So if you're serious about this, what I'm saying is become a member. There are benefits to doing that. What I want to do with you though, Elise, is I want to make it a little bit harder on you, okay? And I know, and instead of matching mode, you know, I want to do something that's a little bit more similar to the actual experience of mixing, which is what's called return to flat, okay? So instead of having channel A be flat, applying a mystery filter on channel B, and then matching channel C to channel B, what we're going to do is we're going to have A be flat, and then we're going to have B be the mystery filter. But then C is going to have that mystery filter applied to it already, and it's up to you to apply the opposite filter so that it returns the song to flat. Okay?
Okay.
Now, this is only available in the Pro
Okay.
version, but it's going to be fun here because, again, this is a lot more similar to mixing music. So I'll go to return to flat mode. And as you can see here, channel A is the target. Channel B has the mystery EQ. And channel C starts with the same EQ, but when you apply the EQ, the opposite to channel C, it's going to sound like channel A. All right, that's a lot of words. Let me go through a round real quick, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to do it in pink noise so it makes more sense. Okay, so I'm going to play A. Okay, I think I know what it is already, but I'm gonna go to C, and it's gonna
Yeah,
it's gonna
me too.
still have that filter applied. It's up to me to choose which one of these to cut, right? So I'll do this again. A, that's flat. And now C and A should match. Right? And so that's a lot
Right.
more similar to mixing, right? Because you hear an
Got it.
imbalance. If you hear a boost, you apply a cut, right? And if you hear a cut, you apply a boost in mixing. You understand? Yeah. All right, cool. But
Yeah.
hey, you said you wanted music, so we're doing this, all right? Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
we're
kinda-
playing it
all right,
hot.
so you know the rules. Here we go. All right, here is flat, and let me go back. Here's flat again. And here's the filter. Here's flat again. In the comments, let us know what you think. So here's flat, and here's the filter. So what vowel sound do you hear first off? And then what frequency does that correspond to?
I don't hear an clear vowel sound, but hearing the snare and the hi-hat, I would suppose it's
You are
okay.
correct, I believe. So you were actually hearing it in these particular instruments, right? And I love that you mentioned that. Because I bet you if we play the beginning of the song where there's not a lot of snare and there's not a lot of hi-hats at all, it's going to be a lot harder to hear that 4K boost, right? Let's do that real quick. So that's a little bit difficult, but now
Yeah, so
when we get the hi-hat and the snare, that starts to pop out. And again, this is return to flat mode. So that means that when I go to channel C, it's going to sound the same as channel B already. It's like a messed up sound in a mix, or a sound that has too much 4K, and we need to remove it. Now, you can see here that we've got auto correction mode already. When you're in return to flat mode, the app will automatically apply the opposite EQ to cancel the mystery EQ. So just by clicking this, it's automatically going to make that a cut. Okay, so we'll go through here. Here's flat. I'm just going to let it play a little bit so we can get a feel for what it sounds like. Here's the mystery EQ. And let's see what happens when we cut 4K. Nice. All right. So do you understand how that mode works, Ali? Yeah. Do you want to try another one? Yeah. I'll give. Go ahead and say it again. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
I'll give you the same option that I gave Simon. Do you want to try 6 dB? Well, you're already using music, so I think. Well, you know what? Let's go to pink noise, and we're gonna try 6 dB. Okay. Okay. So I'll play it here. All right. The comments, I'm seeing no answers yet. This is a tough one. It's only 6 dB. Ali, what do you think?
I'm thinking it's rather 500 or 1K. But
okay. And pardon me, I called you Ali and your name's Elise. My bad. But would you say you're between 500 and 1K? So what are you hearing that's making you say those two?
I'm hearing sort of sound and not so audible. So I think it might be 500.
Right. And it's not so audible because it's only 6 dB, right? And so we're sort of taking a step forward. You're just beginning this method, but we would, in the ear training course, start you at 12 dB peaks and then bring that down to 6 dB. But you're doing a good job. You've already identified that O sound, even though it was really subtle. So let's make sure that Elise is correct. Nice. Yeah, right? So it's pretty fun. Yeah, I mean, as I've told everybody else, if you want to just get the starter pass, there's a link below. You fill out your email, and that will give you access to the free part of the community, and then including the free version of the ear training lab. But then if you want to join and get in our mixing program, we'd love to have you. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I might.
Right, well, I hope to see you.
It's pretty cool.
Hope to see you there. Let's bring one more person up. Samuel, we're gonna bring you up. Can you hear me? Samuel, can you hear me? Might have stepped away. Samuel, one last try. Can you hear us? Unfortunately, no. Okay. Well, I'm here for another few minutes if anybody has questions. I feel like I've made it pretty clear. You know, you join below for at least the ear training guide. I mean, I think that's essential. That's just a recap in PDF form. It shows you the haptic sensations we look for in the blows. It reminds you of the formants or the vowel sounds that we hear in the mids. And it reminds you of the sibilance, the s versus tss, between 8K and 16K. And then if you wanted to take that a step further, I'd recommend checking out the ear training lab. So there's a free version here that will basically be a recap of what we've done here, plus 12 dBs, matching mode only. And once you complete those 3 exercises, that's all you can do in that version. It's not until you become a member that you get access to the full ear training lab that we've been using here in this video. And you also get access to the full mixing program. I'll also remind you that if you are watching this live stream live, then you can use I'm sorry, I just clicked the ticker on. You can use coupon code LIVE50 to get a discount. And it's called LIVE50 because only 50 people can use that coupon code before it expires. So if you're watching us live here, use that coupon code before the last seats are used up. And it sounds like we actually had somebody join in here. Let me see. No. Let me see. Samuel, did you join? Can you hear us now? Nope, still not. Okay. So anyway, back to what I was saying about the members. You get access to the mixing program, and that includes mixing essentials, which let me just show you what that looks like in here to give you an idea. So in Mixing Essentials, that's taught by Gabe Herman. He's a professional for over 25 years. He's a professional educator, which I think makes a big difference because he actually knows how to teach well. Not all experts know how to teach that well. But there's a part on EQ. There's a part on compression. There's a part on delay. There's a part all about reverb. And then there's the mix walkthrough, where Professor Herman goes through a full mix. And he talks about drums. And he talks about integrating bass and acoustic guitar and rhythm guitars, electric guitars, and mixing guitar solos and preparing vocals with editing and clip gain automation. He talks about bringing out clarity and feel in a vocal and tuning vocal pitch with Melodyne. He talks about dynamics and compression and automation and all of these things. He prepares the session for the final mix. And then, of course, goes through the final part of his framework. So that alone, I think, is, I mean, it's definitely worth the investment in the membership. And if you are a member and you're watching this, give me a shout out. And oh, actually, by the way, look at that. We've got a super chat. Nice. That's my very first super chat. I haven't been live streaming the whole time I've had my channel, but thank you. I appreciate it. Derived Doom. So I appreciate that. Not a question, you say, just appreciate what you're doing here. Appreciate that. That makes me feel really good. The Mixing Essentials course I was talking about, it's 12 and a half hours of content. It'll take you the 15 weeks to get through that. And that's why we make it a 15-week program. We don't want people to just think, oh, if I get in and I watch all of the videos, then I'll get something out of this. That's actually what YouTube is. You know, YouTube is filled with content, and you can go watch the content. And I mean, you've seen how far that gets you. If you're anything like me, you watch YouTube all day while kind of doing other stuff, and you never actually put most of it into practice, and then it ends up not really giving you many results. Whereas the membership that Gabe and I have put together, it's designed to give you the information, the theory, because that is important, but then we follow that up with practice, with the ear training, and with downloadable multi-tracks that are used in the Mixing Essentials course. And we also give you feedback on your work, and we give you feedback on questions you have. And then, of course, there's the community, which I think, thinking back to my university experience at a real university, that was the most important part. I met teachers, I met friends, I met future collaborators, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give you theory, practice, feedback, and community without having to invest in a full audio university program. You can come to Audio University, which, of course, it's not a real accredited university or anything. That should probably go without saying, but we do try to give you access to real university professors and those four elements: theory, practice, feedback, and community. Okay. Looking at these questions here, let's see. Bhakta, yes, I will be sending out tomorrow. Bhakta is a current member. He says, hey, I'm a member. Will you show me where the 15-week program is? So you've already got access to Mixing Essentials, which I just talked to you the other day. But tomorrow morning, we're going to launch the ear training course, and you'll get a notification about that. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I'm here for another, let's say, 10 minutes. I'll stay till the top of the hour. Does anybody have any questions? I'd be happy to answer any questions about the ear training method. It doesn't even have to be about the membership. I mean, if you decide that that's a good thing for you, then by all means, please join, especially because we've got the coupon code right here that is only going to accept 50 people. And that'll only be valid until, let's say, we'll make that valid until the end of the day tomorrow. Okay, just in case people are watching this live stream. And aren't like at their computer or something. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like many questions are coming in. So, here we go. This is a good one. Is the 15-week program strict in its pacing? Can we skip ahead if we're comfortable with certain basics like 12 dB boosts for pink noise? You can skip ahead in the Mixing Essentials course. So if you're already familiar with a lot of what Gabe's saying in that course, I wouldn't recommend you skip ahead, because I feel like the way Gabe teaches is he teaches in a way that's relevant to all levels. I mean, we have beginners and we have people who do this professionally, and they're constantly saying that they've gotten value out of the Mixing Essentials course. But to answer your question, Music B, you can skip ahead through the Mixing Essentials course, but the EQ course, or the ear training course, it's one lesson per week, and you're assigned 3 training exercises per week. So you can't skip ahead, and that's by design, because we don't want people to skip too far ahead. Now, we're not doing pink noise for very long. I think in week 3, we introduce music, and then by week, I want to say 6, we're already down to 6 dB. And then on week 9, we start working on dips. So that's where it gets really interesting, is when you're not only identifying these peaks, but you're identifying dips and the effect that has on frequencies around it. But yeah, you can't skip through, because you have to take it step by step, but you will find that you get results a lot faster than you might think. The other thing I wanted to mention was, what does it look like every week? So you get the lesson where I teach you, here's what we're going to practice in the ear training lab. And then you get a link to the ear training lab that is customized. So here we go. Yeah, it looks like this. So if I go back to the lesson for week 1, we see go to ear training lab and load tasks for week 1. So you go in here, and I go to week 1, and I open up these tasks. And a passing score would be 25 reps at least on each of these, with at least an 80% total score. Okay. So yeah, I mean, when you load the task, it's going to load it up here, and you go through that. This is not something that should take you hours, because ear fatigue, like really don't want everything to sound like mush. What I'd recommend you do is 2 or 3 times a week, you log in and you do maybe 15 to 25 minutes worth of practice. Probably 15 to 20 is just as good. I'd say no more than 30 per session, no more than 30 minutes per session. And that's it. So it's basically an hour spread out across 3 days per week. And I'm telling you that when I did this in class, it was seriously the most impactful thing that I did in college. Of course, it's nice to learn the tools, but when you also learn to identify what you're even listening for, those two things pair so nicely, which is, I mean, you can tell I'm excited. We finally have the mixing program, which is Gabe talking about the techniques and the tools, and me talking about the ear training, and our members are going to be able to match those two things hand in hand and really see results. I got my second ever super chat from Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Cheers from Portugal. Thank you. Thank you for your support. And yeah, let me be clear that, thank you everybody for your support. Even if you didn't drop a super chat, or if you don't sign up for our pro membership, I just appreciate you watching our YouTube videos. I mean, it's been an amazing change in my life to be able to share as an educator this free information, and people around the world find value in it. And just by watching the videos, you support the channel. It's a really cool setup. And I'm going to continue providing free, absolutely free content every week on YouTube, like I always have. If you want to take that a step further to the free starter pass, there's a link below that gives you access to the videos, the podcasts, all the guides, and the ear training lab. And then if you want to take your career or your music to the next level, become a pro member. There is a upfront fee for the 15-week program, but you can reduce that a little bit by using this coupon code. And then after that 15 weeks, you can decide to stay on as a member for a monthly subscription, or you don't have to pay monthly at all. You can just cancel after the 15 weeks, and that is what it is. I'm truly proud of what we're putting together here. Okay, let's see. We've got a question here. Thanks for all you do for the community. What are your headphones for mixing? For mixing, I like to use these open back Neumann Indy H30s. They're really cool. They're really comfortable for my big ears, especially. The reason I'm using these Sonys today is because sometimes when I use open back headphones on a conference call, my mic picks up the person talking and they hear an echo on the call. So I was having people up. Kareem and I got in a call and he said, hey, I can hear an echo. So I switched them out for these closed back headphones. I think somebody asked actually earlier about the mic I'm using, and it's the Sennheiser MKH 416. If you've noticed that my audio's gotten better in my videos lately, it's because of that. I switched that out and it instantly got a lot better. Oh, okay. It looks like your question was asked twice, unanswered. Let me go and find that. Oh, here we go. Are there any events in the local Hartford area? You know, that's funny you say that because, like I said, Professor Herman teaches at the University of Hartford, and we actually did a seminar there on a recording acoustic guitar, and that's available to our members here. This acoustic guitar course where we were in the studio there in Hartford, and he has his senior class around us, and we're going through the steps of getting a good acoustic guitar sound. So, I mean, there's that, and that was live at one point, but I'm not located in Hartford. And so to answer your question, Sekrit, it's probably unlikely that I will be doing a live event in Hartford anytime soon. I will be at the Audio Engineering Society convention, though. So if anybody's going to be there, please come find me and say hi. And I would be happy to meet some people. Here's a question that I've seen asked a few times, and I'll go ahead and answer it. It says, what frequency spectrum deals with infrasound, and is it used for mixing? So infra means, I think, below, just like ultra means higher than. So we listen to audio within this range between about 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Infrasound would be below 20 hertz, and ultrasound would be above 20 kilohertz. Is infrasound used in mixing? I'm not sure. I don't think so, because the audible frequency range tends to start at 20 hertz. And so it's mainly between 20 hertz and 20 kilohertz that we're concerned with. Okay. Looks like somebody may have joined us. Mike, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah.
Hear you. I'm here.
Nice. Do you want to test your ears and go play the game, or are you just joining us?
I just joined actually. I'm late. I've not really set up, and give me some time to set up so I can test my ears.
You want to test them right now? You're saying yes?
All right, that's fine.
Oh no, you said okay. I think I misunderstood you. You said you want to try it on your own sometime. Yeah, that's okay. Thank you for being here with us. I just saw that you joined, and I figured I'd give you the opportunity. Okay. Well, with that said, we're coming up on the top of the hour. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you for your support and all that. Like, I'm hoping that what we're putting out there is helpful, whether that's the free YouTube videos, whether that's the free starter pass, or whether it's our pro mixing program. But that's enough rambling from me. You've got a little bit of time left to use this coupon code if you want to try out the 15-week mixing program. And I mean, with that said, I guess I'll leave it at that. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below, or you can email me at support@audiouniversityonline.com, and I'll try to give you a good answer to your question, especially if it seems like you're the kind of person we'd be able to help with our videos on music production and our mixing and ear training program. All right, so thank you everybody for joining, and I'll